everyone. Let me turn that music down. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I'm here. I'm Emily. I'm one of the RPGeeks. You know me. And you might know my very special guest, Taylor. You're this side of me on the screen. Hello.
I have no idea. Hi, everyone.
It's all very chill. We just chat. How are we doing? Are we ready for some love? I'm very exciting, I have to say.
I'm ready.
Yeah. How is the music volume, chat? Because I have to sort of half listen to the music and I can never tell whether it's going to be a good level. So let me know if it's too loud. So we're going to play a game today. It's a lovely game. It's called Not Yet. And we brought Taylor in for a very special reason because she owns a copy. As you can see, here is Taylor holding her copy. But more than owning a copy, Taylor created Not Yet. She is the game designer. So, Taylor, please tell us a little bit about Not Yet.
Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor Navarro. I use she, her pronouns. And as Emily said, I am the creative lead, project manager, and designer for Not Yet, a romantic duet TTRPG. How do I describe Not Yet other than, you know, that ships passing in the night, like the misconnection, falling in love, but not just in love with a person, but with the little acts that they do that change the world around you. I made that into a game. This game that I ran on Kickstarter earlier this year, and you can go and buy the digital copy on DriveThruRPG right now. Shameless plug because
plug away. Look at this. I even made Nightbot put the link in chat. A magical thing.
But yeah, no, it's good. Play it, and then watch us play it because I love this game so much, and I'm always appreciative when I get the opportunity to play it. So thank you, RPGeeks and Emily, for giving me the opportunity to
this will be my first time playing it, so I'm very excited. I've read all the rules, and you all know me. I love a rule, so I think we've got it. But oh my goodness, I'm sort of scared to just get into it. But what me and Taylor have done already is we had a session 0, so we've gone through our lines and veils, so things that we're not gonna tackle, or if they come up,
let me pull those up
hidden a little bit. That's partly why I said it, because I was like, I don't have it open right now. And I think it's probably quite important to say, and if you're playing this kind of romantic TTRPG, I would say that romantic lines and veils are probably quite an important thing to keep an eye on if you're going to play this. So, and that's all in the game as well. There's a whole thing about it.
Yeah, we've got the first page. The very first page says safety tools.
Safety tools.
Please use safety tools when you're romancing your friends. It's important.
And if you are like me and you only play RPGs to flirt with your friends, this is just, the best game possible. Okay. Oh my goodness, Taylor, I'm nervous about this one.
You know what? It's okay. We're going to make a beautiful love story together. It's going to be fantastic.
So I'm going to be playing Suzy and you're going to be playing Aisha. And
do you want to tell people a little bit about Suzy? Maybe perhaps determination tag, so that way people kind of know what we're playing with.
Well, first of all, what is a determination tag? Tell the people at home.
A determination tag is a romantic cliche attached to your character. There are different, I think there's 5. Is there 5? She says,
6,
asking about her own, because I made multiple and some got cut before the end game.
There's 5.
So yeah, there's 5 determination tags, and each determination tag is essentially to help prompt your role play. It's your romantic style. So for example, I'm going to be destined. That it's always going to be you type character. And so that's for Aisha. Did I give her a surname? I did. Her name is Aisha Nichols, and she uses she, her pronouns. Emily.
Well, I'm playing Suzy. I did not give her a surname. So chat, you can come up with her surname. Maybe as it goes on, maybe you can decide what surname fits her. She is resolute, so that's the kind of I'll always find you. It makes me think of I'll always find you is it makes me it feels very Princess Bride, the sort of as you wish, I'll always be there and
100%.
No, not I'll always find you is what am I thinking of? Once Upon a Time. Has anyone watched Once Upon a Time? Snow and Prince Charming.
Yeah. Oh my god, you just
will always find
a
you.
Memory.
I'm always.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I love Once Upon a Time. Anyway, and these have mechanical impacts as well, because there are mechanics in this game, mostly around sort of scene setting and whether our characters will actually interact in a scene or not, or whether they'll just sort of not yet meet each other. I see what you did there. So
you got it.
So that being said, Oh, these are good names. Sorry, I've just looked. Suzy's surname. Megan, we're going to put a pin in that one. Ben Newbon suggests Suzy Buttercup. I don't. When you meet Suzy, I'm not sure she's a buttercup, but we can consider it. Suzy Quattro. That is a name, isn't it? That is someone. Suzy Quattro. I see what you've done there.
Quattro means four in Spanish.
No, but Suzy Quattro is someone. I recognise that name. What is that, Nick? Put it in chat what it is. Anyway, let us get into the game. So for our first scene, we should say we've decided where the settings of the first 5 of our scenes are going to be, and then the final one we'll come up with on the day. So our first scene starts in our childhood, and it's at Brownie Camp.
Okay, before we get into it, I'm going to need you to roll your d10 for me, first of all. And then while you do that, I'm going to roll a d4 to see what the complication is.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Oh, you're going to love this. Okay, so what roll did you get on your d10 for your fate die?
I got a 2.
Fantastic. Now, normally I would also roll a fate die. However, because we're destined, I'm going to invoke my determination tag, and we are going to meet in this scene. So, we've got Aisha and Suzy. They're going to be at Brownie Camp. And I just rolled a 4 for the complication, which is bad behavior in quotation marks, caused one or both of the characters to receive the same punishment. Perfect. So, in this scene at Brownie Camp, we're going to get in trouble. And we're going to be doing the same task, whatever that is. So,
interesting.
We begin with, I guess, a negotiation between players on who wants to start. Where do you want to begin this?
Do you have any particular urge?
If you want me to start, I'm more than happy to begin.
You start this one so I can kind of see the tone of how you play this game, just so I can kind of mold.
Okay, I play this game differently. Yeah. This is my 3rd time playing. I haven't actually played it all that much.
Feels like a
lot. But this game lives rent free in my head. So let's set the scene. It is Brownie Camp at an indeterminate place in England. All right, so you've got all of the groups of girls in the bright yellow t-shirts with the brown skirts and the sashes with different levels of badges on. And I think that you kind of see, by some trees a little bit removed from the camp, there's a stern older woman with a shawl wrapped around her. And she's just sat in one of those camper chairs, the dark green camper chairs. And she's reading a newspaper. And next to her on a log, in front of a fire, is a little girl in brownie uniform, and she's arranging stones around a fire pit. She's got very, very dark, massive ringlet hair, golden tan skin, and a pair of glasses. And she's just very quietly, and she keeps glancing up at the woman and then looking back at the fire and continuing to kind of set this all up. And this is Aisha that we're looking at right here, right now. And you can see all of these groups of brownies go by, and girls keep glancing at her and doing the haha, you're on your own kind of thing. And Aisha pretends not to let it bother her, and she just focuses on this task of constructing this fire that she has been tasked with.
Okay, I think as that is all going, in the background there is a group of girls, and at the centre, very much the centre of attention, is a girl with flaming red hair, and she's got it pulled up into a very high ponytail, with a little bow on it. Everything is absolutely immaculately in place. Her sash is covered in badges. She has patches hidden in little any space on that sash. It doesn't look brown anymore. It is just covered in badges. And she is laughing with this group of girls. They all are very much paying attention to her. And she's sort of going around the camp, actually holding up a new badge that she's just got. And chatting away. Oh, yes, well, it was always going to be me who got the best brownie badge. So what can I say? And I think they come quite close to Aisha. and one of the other girls. And that's Suzy, just in case anyone was wondering. And Suzy waves at Mrs. Badgerflame. I've looked at two things I can see. Hello, Mrs. Badgerflame, lovely to see you. And sort of carries on moving. And one of the other girls, I think, turns to Aisha and sort of stifles a giggle and just goes, no friend. And very quickly, Suzy turns and goes, don't be rude, Jessica. And just sort of carries on moving.
Absolutely amazing. I think Aisha definitely kind of stops and stares. A little bit taken aback that somebody would even just very briefly come to her defense. But then carries on with the task. And I think here is a good point where we can introduce this complication that we rolled for.
I agree.
So you tell me, what do you think happens to cause our characters to properly meet?
I wonder if we cut to sort of maybe later in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what would work here. I think Suzy's friends are being a bit boisterous. She's very much sat watching them stitching on, attempting to stitch on to her sash, the new badge. You will notice one of the badges not on Suzy's sash is the needlework one. She is not doing a particularly good job at it, and she pricks her thumb and she's like, ow, damn it, and very loudly swears. I think maybe as Mrs. Badgerflame walks past. And do we, sorry, just to jump out, do we do other people's?
You can do as much or as little as you want. So one of the things I love about this game is you can decide whether you're going to do it first person, third person. If you want to hop in and do other characters, go for it. It's your story. Hello, welcome guest star Zeus.
Oh, you can't see Zeus quite on screen. He's a little bit cut off, but Taylor's dog has made an appearance, Zeus, and we love Zeus. We were talking with Zeus earlier. Zeus, if you want to come play, we can bring a dog called Zeus in. I think that's fine.
Hang on, let me just go get a second laptop for a Zeus cam.
Yeah, exactly, Zeus cam. I can rearrange the stream, that's fine. So, yes, I think, so Suzy swears, and Mrs. Badgerflame turns on her, and is like, Suzy Henwhistle, follow me. And Suzy's like, oh, and her friends all start complaining and screaming and shouting, and Suzy has to be like, it's fine, settle down. And I think probably at this point, I'm trying to bring you in. Sorry,
No, go follow the narrative.
I think
I'll jump in.
Okay, great. So she's following Badgerflame. I keep forgetting the name. Why did I name her Badgerflame? So she's following Mrs. Badgerflame. And I think there's maybe a bonfire going on. It's sort of in the evening. People are starting to toast s'mores and things. And I think she sees Aisha and sort of looks over and goes, I think Aisha was swearing too. Mrs. Badgerflame. Go ahead.
Oh, Mrs. Badgerflame is saying that Aisha was swearing.
Oh, I think Suzy was saying it.
Oh, is Suzy saying it? Aisha turns and she looks and she goes, I don't think that fuck's a swear word.
And Suzy goes, I actually think you'll find that fuck is a swear word. My mum told me not to say it.
Oh, well, fuck.
Aisha, Suzy, follow me now! And marches them into the
dishwashing tent.
Dishwashing
We've been put
tent.
on dishes.
Yes.
The worst punishment. 100%.
How old do we think these girls are at this point?
When do you age out of brownies? This
Maybe
is a good question. Hang on. We're going to our best friend,
Google.
the search bar.
Me and Taylor, when we were talking about this yesterday, our session 0, we were both like, neither of us were brownies, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 7 to 10. So I'm gonna say that we're probably about
9?
9, 10.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Like
think
old
Susie's
enough that
old
we
for
know
the
what
year.
we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. So as they're washing the dishes, Susie will tell me, I pricked my finger. That's why I swore.
Oh, I don't like Mrs. Badger Flame. That's why I swore.
Why do you always sit with her?
I don't really have a choice. I'm the only one from my group who could come.
You're the only one from your... That's sad.
There's only like 5 of us. Like, we're on like an estate, like a council estate. And the others couldn't. I got a gift from my grandma, so I could come. But the others couldn't really come. So they didn't even want to send one of our leaders. They just kind of put me in a cab. And then now I'm here.
Why didn't your parents pay for you?
Because I live on a council estate. They didn't really have...
I don't know what that is.
Oh. You know that part of town your mum probably told you shouldn't go to, where all of the really noisy kids on the bus
the horrible
get
children.
off?
Yes.
I live on one of those.
Oh, but you're not. I don't think you're horrible.
I'm not. I hope I'm not.
You don't have very many badges.
I'm new. I try. You know, I don't know. I think Brownies for us is more of just a place to kind of hang out after school than a place where they want us to like actively get skills. But look, I've got this one, and I show her like the needlework badge.
Oh, I don't have that one. I'm not very good. And she'll hold up her bleeding thumb.
But you've got so many badges.
Yes, well, if I didn't get the badges, then Mum and Dad wouldn't let me come anymore, so...
Oh, that's a bit rubbish.
Well, they say it's important for my development.
Well, can't you just develop the way that you want to?
I don't know what I want to do, really. I've got this one. This is for French. Bonjour. I can say 100 French words.
100?
100. I won't do them all now because I might mess them up. And I've got this one for horse riding. Have you ever been horse riding?
I saw a horse one time. They're massive. I don't like horses.
Oh no, they're lovely. Maybe you could come to my house one time and you could see my horse.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Aisha.
Yes.
I want you to have this one. And she'll hand
What's
over
that one?
the best brownie badge, which I'm sure is a real badge that brownies get.
It is now.
It is now.
It is in this universe.
Aisha
takes it and she's like, well, I'm not the best brownie, you are. Like,
No,
look at all those badges.
Well, I think you're the best. You swore, Miss Badgerflame, on purpose. That's fun. That's cool. I would never do that. I accidentally swore.
Well, I'm not supposed to swear outside our house, but she's been a bit mean, and I thought when I got here that I would be put with another group. But I just have to stay in my unit apparently. But my unit is just me.
Oh, you should. I mean, I would say you should come stay with my lot, but we go home tomorrow.
Oh, I only arrived yesterday, so I'm probably gonna be here a bit longer.
Right.
But that's okay, because we can wash dishes, and you can tell me all about what all of your badges are for, because I want to know.
Okay, so this one is for plants. So I built a garden, and I think it sort of trails off as Suzy just rambles about all of her different badges.
Beautiful, and I think that's a perfect place to end our opening scene.
I do too.
Oh, they're so cute! Look at them!
Yeah, look at them. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Nothing could go wrong. There was an invite to Suzy's house that's definitely going to come in a postcard, even though these girls haven't exchanged addresses.
No, so they'll make it work. I'm sure it'll be fine, right?
Yeah,
Right?
100%. Do you want to? I tell you, I'm gonna throw in a little like kind of bonus scene.
Ooh.
Do you just want to very briefly describe what Suzy going home looks like?
So I think they're all packed up. She's got her beret on. Her hair is down this time. Do brownies have berets? Wait, they do now.
They do now.
They do now. And all of her group are getting ready to get on the bus. And I think you can see Suzy looking around a lot. And she's clearly looking for Aisha. Do you think she's there?
I think that does Suzy take a window seat? Yes, no.
Yes, I think she would. She well, no, you know what she takes? She takes back of the bus center, like on the center aisle, so there is the back window, and she would be looking out the back window.
I think as the bus is like kind of starting to pull away, she sees Aisha literally dragging like Mrs. Badger Flame like towards like the loading area. And I think she just abandons her, and like you can see she's being chased and they're shouting, but you can't really hear what's being said because you're on a bus and all of the girls are singing, as girls do on the bus. And she just kind of runs and waves and like keeps waving until like the bus is like out of sight.
Suzy waves too, and then I think as the bus pulls away, she sort of turns around and all of her friends are singing, and she sort of looks at all of them and then very quickly sort of big laugh and then just joins in with the song. On the high soprano line, obviously, doing a harmony. And
of course,
as she like fingers her choir badge. And
yes.
And the bus drives off.
Incredible. So now we start the next scene. So a little bit of context. We've decided to do a time jump. So you can play in a way that they can meet recurringly or miss each other recurringly through like childhood, early teens, but we've decided that we want to jump to adulthood because that's fun and interesting. Yeah. We're making our own romance movie here. We can do what we want. So we know that this is going to be at a work event. So would you like to roll for the complication? That's a D4.
Yes, I would. So the complication is going to be...
I've got them open if you don't.
I do. I just got to scroll. And I just use... Oh, yeah, here we go. The complication is you get an upsetting call. There's an urgent situation to deal with. Can that go to either one of us?
So before we decide how that's going to play out, can you roll your 2d8 for your resolute? And I'm going to roll 1.
So the reason I can roll 2d8 here is because of my determination tag, which is resolute, and because our characters have met already, I get to roll 2d8 to see if we meet again in this scene. We're trying to get the same number, aren't we, on a dice?
So if we get the same number, we meet. Mm-hmm. If we get within 1 to 2 of each other, we're gonna like, hang on. I wrote this down in a way. So if the rolls are within 1 of each other, your characters can see one another clearly as they enter and exit the scene, but cannot interact. Mm-hmm. If the rolls are within 2 to 3 of one another, you glimpse each other as you enter and exit the scene, and if it's 4 or more away, you don't see each other at all. Okay. Now, I rolled a 5. What were your rolls?
Oh, I literally rolled a 2 and an 8.
Okay,
so they're both 3 away.
They are both 3 away. So what that means is we're going to see one another. So you get to pick. Mm-hmm. So the person with the lowest number goes first. So you can choose to go first.
Okay.
Or you can choose to go second.
I think it's a work event. Can we discuss like what we think it might be ahead of doing it? So I think
the great
Suzy...
part about this is negotiation. Right. So yes. What do you think Suzy grows up to be?
I think probably either... So there's 2 roads I've got with her. Either she is like a lawyer, or she is like head of a marketing PR kind of firms who are maybe organising the event. So in which case I think she'd be there first. But with the lawyer, I think maybe she'd be there second.
Okay, interesting. All right.
What do you think?
What kind of work event are we thinking here?
I think fancy.
Something fancy.
Like black tie kind of vibes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's
like
go.
a work event that's like a mingle for posh people, potentially.
Oh, okay.
Maybe?
Right. I'm thinking if you want to go lawyer, I might go journalist
Oh,
covering the event for I think yeah, journalist covering the event I think would be a really interesting one
I
to
think that's
play
great.
with.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Maybe it's like a celebration for like a client that I got off.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, right.
So we glimpse one another as we enter or exit the scene. That's the one we got. Okay. Okay.
So do you want to go second then?
Yeah, I'll go second. Yeah. And so does that mean the complication
So what
is
will
yours?
happen is I'm gonna start and I'm gonna set up the scene. And then together we're going to introduce the complication, and there'll be a little bit of back and forth, and then there'll be a handoff, and you will finish the scene.
Perfect. Understood. Let's do it.
Okay. So we're at a black tie event. I think it's like we're in London because of course, lawyers, black tie. This like huge hotel has been like the ballroom of it has been rented out for this. So it's like winter, it's dark. But they've started setting up for Christmas, so all of like the fairy lights around like the little pointy trees outside. And of course it's raining because it's London, of course it's raining. You know, and you see like this silhouette like walking from the subway like through the streets, and you hear like the little click clack of heels, and it's like a long dark coat with like a hat that's kind of pulled low, and she walks towards the hotel and like flashes like a lanyard with like a little badge on it, and you just see a picture of like older Aisha, you know, and it just says like press in the big red letters like beneath it. And she steps into the light and like takes off her hat and coat, and it's an older Aisha like face done in a way that it's like it's soft makeup. She's not really supposed to be noticed, but she's put in the effort. And she's got like this like little red dress like that falls down to her knees with like a flowy skirt and the halter neck. You know, again, something that is nice, and it's a little bit bold, but like when you kind of look at the glitz and the glam and like the pearl, like she's wearing very simple silver jewelry, and you look at like the pearls and the gold and like these floor length cocktail dresses, she could be underdressed, she could be considered underdressed, but she's not quite. You know, she's straddling that line. I think well. Hey, don't we all? And she walks in, and there's like a big banner, and she does, I think, a little bit of a double take, because there's like a photo, like, you know, like those giant photo cards.
Yeah.
And I think there is one of Suzy
just outside the Royal Courts of Justice, like shaking the hand of
exactly. And she's like, and she kind of looks at it and she's like, this seems familiar. You know, but she can't quite figure out where she knows this face from, and just assumes it must be from her briefing. And moves in to this huge ballroom. Do you want to so I'm gonna throw this to you.
Sure.
Do you want to describe what the interior of like the ballroom and what the vibe of this party is?
Yes, I do. So I think the doors are this like mahogany oak with these gold handles that go from like ceiling to floor, and just they are polished beautifully. And obviously there are two gentlemen on the door who open the doors for everyone. And as you come through, let's go all out. I think you come through out onto a balcony overlooking the ballroom. There is a like plush purple carpet leading down. Again, I think let's go mahogany. Let's go deep dark wood. Staircase, like going down both sides, so it rings round the side of the room. You walk, and in the middle, there's not a chandelier, but there are like hanging candles everywhere. It's almost kind of old-fashioned but modern, chic kind of vibes. I think there are waiters in very sharp coats, but they're all in let's say they're wearing all black, so it's not the white and black, it's just with black also, and all the people visiting seem to be wearing colourful, all the sort of guests are wearing colour, and then the staff have been put in this very plain black attire, but very, very crisp, very cleanly done, holding these golden trays with champagne. Some have cocktails on, some have non-alcoholic options, but mostly champagne and cocktails. And there's a quartet in the corner, and I think it is fancy, like to the max, and everyone, there's that chatter you hear in those big events where no one's really like getting drunk or good friends, but everyone's doing very polite conversation with each other for the time being. And there's a jolly mood. This is clearly the firm that has won the recent dispute.
Interesting. Do you think that Suzy is there yet?
No.
Okay.
I think she's planning on making an entrance.
I love her. Right. So, Aisha will like kind of skirt, like clutching onto the balcony, like make her way down. And then her role is kind of just to kind of like observe. So she's like making little notes, and it is like on a reporter's pad. Like you can see there are a couple of other like members of the press there, like with cameras and stuff, and she goes and confers with a couple of them, and they're making notes on like phones and stuff like that. But she does have like this very old school way of like making note who's here, like speaking to like the event coordinator to find out order of events and stuff like that. And just kind of like keeping the line, you know, very much watching, not participating. And because she's one of the few people wearing lanyards, she's never offered a drink, she's never offered anything to eat. She just kind of she's there, and she doesn't seem fazed by this at all.
What's she listening out for? What's she trying to glean?
This is just like I think a very standard piece for her. It's very much she tends to be invited to like these kind of like events where she's expected to be like, here is the who's who of who was here, and she kind of like writes it all down, and then like it'll go like in a blog post that no one will read, and then she'll give a copy of like her notes to like the short form video content creator on staff, who will then going up and get like tens of thousands of views.
Oh no, that couldn't be me.
But yeah, no, I that is very much she's there to do kind of recon, and just kind of be like, yes, this event happened, you know, like she'll probably like do a couple of like brief interviews with the people who like with people of import, but other than that, it's kind of off to the side. She kind of keeps looking at her watch and like looking at the door, and I think she's waiting for the short form video content creator to show up.
Do you want me to play the short form video content creator, because it might be too real for me?
You know, I'm gonna hold off on that because I've put one in the chamber in case we need somebody for the complication.
I like it. I like it. Very good.
But yeah, so she's kind of there doing the rounds, and I think now would be a really good time for Suzy to make an entrance.
I couldn't agree more. I think at this point an older gentleman stands at the top of the stairs with a glass and please, everyone, could I have your attention, please? It's me, Arthur Henwhistle. Now, thank you all so much for being here. I am thrilled and so proud to introduce the star lawyer of this recent trial. We all know the details. I don't need to go over them again. They're not important. But what is important is, please, ladies and gentlemen, raise a glass to my daughter, Suzy hen whistle, and polite smattering of applause as the doors fling open. And she walks forward, Suzy, her hair still this like bright red, but now done in like curls that fall down her back. She is wearing a very high neck, bright red dress. It's sort of very classy, but also very fitted, and she looks stunning. She's got sort of a shawl thing over her shoulders, wearing gold jewelry, like her bracelets, but not too much. She's done the is it Vivian Westwood, the take off one thing before you leave? Oh, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not a fashion girly.
Chat will know. I don't wear
Quick
a lot of
chat,
jewelry.
help.
Quick chat. Who said the take off one item of clothes before you leave? Is it Vivian Westwood? No, I don't think it is. Anyway, Christian Dior, I don't know. One of them. And she sort of comes forward, like kisses her father on both cheeks. There is no lip contact from either of them. They sort of smile at each other. And immediately someone appears by her side and hands her a glass of champagne. And she steps forward and looks out over the crowd and goes, "Oh, thank you all so much for being here. It is truly an honour, and really I couldn't have done it without any of you. And, well, also, of course, I would like to thank Mr. Henwhistle." And he goes, "Her father," and she's like, Mr. Henwhistle, as I call him at work. Please, everyone, enjoy the evening. Thank you. And sort of everyone goes back, and if you are watching her, which most people aren't at this point, you see her sort of like drop her shoulders a little bit and sort of look at her father, and then very quickly make her way down the stairs and out of the spotlight. But the minute she hits the bottom of the stairs, the smile's back on, and she starts talking to the nearest person who comes up to her to shake her hand.
That's really interesting, because Aisha was watching. Aisha was watching the whole time, especially when the name was said, and like she does the mental maths, and she's like, oh, like, and like she goes through like a range of emotions, but she's like, yes, we met once when we were kids. Yes, we were really good friends. Yes, it did take me about 6 months to realize I hadn't given her my address, which is why I was never invited to ride a horse. And I think like all of that kind of comes back up, and like she's just kind of like staring and watching, and like you can hear the music really, really loud. And is that kind of you know, in movies where somebody's saying a name, you can't really hear what they're saying at first, you can just hear a voice, and then it gets clear as somebody's going, Aisha, and she kind of like locks back in, and like she was like she's dropped everything, like just really was completely out of it. And like the photographer that she's with is like, are you okay? What happened? And Aisha's just like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And she picks up the pen and paper, and she begins to kind of like skirt around the edge of the room, like really, really slowly, like almost drawing like a parallel track to Suzy as Suzy kind of moves through.
And Suzy's very much doing the jumping from group to group, sort of doing her small talk and moving on. She's not getting involved in any long conversations, maybe a couple of, you know, little minor debates about a new law that might have been put in place, but in general she is just moving around the room very quickly.
And I think that Suzy, like, because Suzy is doing that, Aisha doesn't want to get involved necessarily, and so she kind of goes to like somebody who we're gonna say like somebody who's running the event, who's like on the ground running the event, and she just like kind of flashes her press pass, and it's like, hey, can you at some point get Suzy to come and talk to me, please, as part of like this thing that I'm doing. And like once she's got that done, it kind of feels like there's a little bit of weight off of her shoulders. She realizes the video creator never arrived. And she's looking around, like, and then she feels a buzzing in her pocket, and she pulls out her phone, and she can like, and it's from a number that like she doesn't quite recognize, and she answers it anyway.
I think at this point, probably the person organising the event comes over to Suzy and it's like, I think now's probably a good time. The press want a quick word. And Suzy's like, oh, yes, no, of course. Always time for the media. And sort of does a little sarcastic grin and starts to be led over towards where you are.
So what you're seeing is like literally tucked into like the staircase. Is Aisha on the phone? Do you think that Suzy recognizes her in this moment?
I don't think I think she has the very similar thing to what Aisha had with the photo, which is there's something about that face, but sort of immediately writes it off as they must have done an interview with me before. I must have seen them in a courtroom. They must have been there observing a trial I was doing or something along those lines. Because she's a barrister, not a solicitor. She's doing all the chat. Anyway, so I think she's sort of moving towards them and sort of not really paying attention. They're sort of waving at her, shaking a couple of people's hands as she walks, sort of, looking back. But there is something about the face that is familiar to her.
I think I'm gonna pull a Cinderella here, because I think this will be fun. So you can't really hear. I think we see all of this from Suzy's perspective. Like, you see Aisha, and she's getting more and more concerned as she's on the phone, and like getting really animated, and then just begins to move incredibly quickly, possibly not even having noticed that Suzy was making her way over. But like she begins to move, and like she gets caught like on the edge of the staircase, like her lanyard gets caught, and it kind of rips, like the cord at the back breaks. And she just like jerks back and then continues moving forward, like her momentum has not stopped. And she's beginning to take the stairs one at a time, two at a time, like just moving. Like literally by the time she's running, and like there's like a cameraman who begins to like run after her, and you can hear like yelling in the hallway.
I think Suzy probably sees the lanyard come off and sort of bends down to pick it up and goes, "You dropped." Oh, okay. And as the running happens, she's in heels, so she's not running, but she's sort of watching and sees the cameraman running, and she's like, "Oh well," I hands it to the person running the event and goes, "She might need that. I think press passes are quite hard to come by." I guess she had to go.
Yeah. And I think that's it for me. So I want you to wrap up this scene, explain like anything that kind of comes afterwards.
I think Suzy is sort of looking maybe at the press pass as she hands it over and looking at the photo on it. And it's like, oh, strange. And it's almost, you can see it starting maybe to come together when a very tall gentleman walks over and sort of places his hand on Suzy's shoulder, and she sort of turns around, and this is a guy, I mean, the chiseled jawline, the dapper suit, he is wearing like a white suit, and she's like, "Oh, Grant, lovely to see you, I wasn't expecting you tonight." And he sort of kisses her on the cheek, and he's like, "I'm gonna get you another drink." And she's like, "Yes, thank you, that would be great," and goes off with him, sort of forgetting about the press pass. And I think for the rest of the evening, she is the life of the party, as she is instructed to be, and goes around, makes small talk with everyone. And sorry, I've just seen something in chat that's really made me laugh.
Wait, hang on, I need to open up chat.
I'll read it out. So Aaron's just said, "I hope Grant chokes on a cocktail olive."
No, we need him for plot.
He's there for plot, Aaron.
He's there for plot.
Maybe one day. And then, Grant is there. He is almost her arm candy for the night. And, but yes, carries on. At one point, I think she clocks Grant in deep discussion with her father, and sort of is a bit perplexed by that, but carries on.
Interesting. I'm gonna ask you, how is Suzy feeling as she's kind of moving through this? Is she like engaged and everything is in focus, or does everything seem like a little bit distant? Like, where is she at?
She is, if you were looking at her, she's engaged. She couldn't be more engaged. However, Suzy's mind is working 19 to the dozen, and every so often comes back to the journalist that ran away, and still can't quite put her finger on it, but sort of really recognised her, and still hasn't managed to clock where from. But it's weird. Journalists don't leave these kinds of events. Why was she running? And she sort of almost convinces herself that the reason she's focused on it is because she's very good at spotting stuff that's out of place in a situation. And a journalist leaving this kind of event is very, very strange. And so she's like, why would she leave? Something must have happened. And she thinks that that's the reason she's so interested in this journalist, not because of a memory. She's just intrigued by the complication, or not the complication, the mystery behind her. And you know, she thought she was quite pretty, but she's fine. She's not repressing anything, so it's fine.
No, of course, everything is all good. Nothing to worry about.
She has a couple
at
of
all.
cocktails, maybe a couple extra. Then she'll be all right.
Okay.
This is just apple juice, but she's having apple juice with rum in or something.
Incredible. Okay, right. So I think that's a very natural place. I'm gonna give myself an after scene
I think
now,
so.
because again, this is my game and I can do what I want.
I also feel like this is the way to play the game, right? This is so fun. Sorry, carry on. Okay.
No. You're good.
Enjoy.
So I think we cut to like an A&E waiting room. All right. And you see Aisha, and like the cameraman has like arrived, like everything is like slung over, and he like puts a coat over her shoulders, and she's like talking very animatedly, and like she's making phone calls, and like you see her pacing back and forth, and like some like a couple of like elderly people, I say elderly, like kind of like mid 50s kind of age, show up, and they look nothing like her. And you can see that she's explaining something, and then like this young girl, like blonde straight hair, pale skin, is like wheeled out, and she's like all banged up and bruised and stuff. And she kind of like these like older people like give her a hug. It's clearly like their daughter, and Aisha like kind of just squeezes this girl's hand, and it's like, you can't really hear what's going on, but something has clearly happened, which had drawn her away. And I think that you could assume that this was the short form video content creator who was supposed to be there.
I have assumed.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta spell it out for the audience, but you know. And I think that's like a nice little kind of mini scene that helps resolve that complication.
Okay. How
It's
old
okay,
do you think
she's
they
fine.
were in that scene? How far? I think they're probably what?
How old do you have to be to have finished law school?
So we got to be like over mid-20s to be a practicing barrister. I think probably like maybe like late 20s, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe roughly, maybe a bit earlier, but somewhere between 25 and 29. That kind of vibe. Suzy was a rising star, obviously, so you know it sort of all happened very quickly. Yes. Okay.
Nice.
So, do we move on to the next scene? Is that what we do now? Okay.
Yeah, we're moving on. We keep going. So, the next scene we have is set in like a bar or a club. So this is our d6s. So you're only rolling one d6 this time, and I'm also rolling a single d6.
And so what that means is it becomes more and more likely that we meet in every scene. It's great.
The die size goes down.
Okay.
So I got a 3.
I got a 5.
Okay, so it's this. So again, we're just missing each other. However, do I do it? I'm gonna do something.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to invoke the token. Hang on, I need to remember. Does the token give me a +1 or a +2?
The token. So the token, but so everyone knows, is the badge that that Suzy gave Aisha in the first scene. So one character starts with a token. We decided what that token was before. So the best brownie badge is our token. And yes, you can add or subtract up to 2 from a fate die result. So.
Okay, interesting. I think I'm gonna be really controversial with it because it says up to 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1. and I'm gonna make it a 4. So we're not gonna meet exactly,
Yeah, I like that.
but like this time we do get to kind of see each other very clearly as we do the handover.
Okay,
so because I rolled lower, I will go first.
Okay, great. See one another clearly as they enter and exit the scene, but cannot interact. Okay, so we're not allowed to talk, but we are allowed to sort of clearly work out who each other are. Is that the kind of the idea? Okay, got you.
Yeah. However, I'm going to preface this very clearly. Rules are made to be broken. And I'm just gonna throw that out there.
And question, just before you start, sorry.
Yeah.
Because you've invoked the token, does that mean you use the token in the scene, or is it just
So one of the things that you can do is you use the token as a narrative device. So I'm about to show you how I'm going to use it as a narrative device. No, it's great. No, I love being asked questions. So essentially, this is like, I don't know if did you watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
This is the yellow umbrella.
Yes.
So in this case, our little brownie badge is going to be a narrative device. It's going to kind of, you can pass it back and forth between scenes if you want, but I think for this, it makes sense to use it in this way. So I'm going to give us another mini scene before a scene. So we're gonna look at Aisha's apartment, and Aisha's lives in a very small London studio apartment. It's like rent-a-color walls. It's like very Spartan. Everything is very neatly organized, like in its place. She doesn't have a lot of things. And like you see her bed, and it's got like this lovely like handmade quilt on it, that like looks very faded and old. And she kneels down next to the bed, and she's like still in the dress from like the party. So this is like the very same night. Like you can see the sun is rising outside in her open curtains. Like she has been up all night, and she gets home, she drops her things, and she kind of goes to her bed and gets down on her knees and pulls like out a little like cardboard moving box. And she opens it. And she pulls out things, and like you can see like her GCSE and A-level certificates, and you can see like a newspaper clipping like with her and some other like girls like on the front, like star students win award kind of thing. And then all the way at the bottom, as she pulls out like an acceptance letter to a camp, or like with the details of like a brownie camp, and she pulls out a sash. And you can see where she has very neatly stitched at the top, and she had like 5 badges when she got there, and you can see that she has like 15 on there, and then like a lucky like little 16th badge at the top that was never really hers, and so she'd sewn it on the inverse, so that way she wasn't showing it off. So you see that, and she kind of looks at it and rubs her thumb over it, and then she packs everything away except for the sash, and kind of hangs it up over the side of like this standing mirror, and then like kicks off her heels and climbs into bed fully clothed and goes to sleep.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. Going to A&E in the middle of the night is rough. We don't like it.
Sure is. He's had a recent interaction.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm all good, everyone. I'm fine.
We love that for you. But now we're gonna fast forward in time. How long do you think it's gonna be?
A couple of years, maybe. Like
years.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let's go for it.
Maybe like a year. Let's do Christmas time again. Like let's.
Yay, Christmas!
Keep it Christmassy. And
I love that.
Yes. So you're going first, aren't you?
I am going. I am going first.
Yeah, okay.
A year has passed, and I think, you know what I love in movies, where like it's the shot and it's the same. Yes. It's the same shot and it stands still.
Like, pans away and pans back, and something's changed. Like.
Yeah. Oh, how about this? Right. So it's Aisha's room, and you know when they do the speedy thing where somebody's moving through and changing things and moving things and stuff, and you see Christmas decorations go up and then they go down, and then like balloons at some point as like the sun keeps like passing like along the floor, and the one thing that never changes in the room is like where the brownie badge is positioned. And you see magazines, and some of them have like Susie's face on them and stuff like that. And like Aisha's clearly been following along with like Susie's progress, but not in like a weird way. It's like one or two.
It's not like a shrine.
It's not a shrine, but it is very much like a like. But you also see a lot of like Aisha's work as like she begins like, because she like cuts out a column and blue tacks it to the wall, and then all of a sudden like it's a double page, like it goes on like a double page spread, and the room begins to get life in it as like she begins to like progress with her career and is actually proud of what she's done, and it's all like really neat, and like all really sized perfectly, but like again, that everything has its place. But she's starting to put more of herself into this room, like through her work. And then like she's standing in front of the mirror, and the brownie session's kind of been moved off to the side a bit, as she's doing like her lipstick, and she's in like tight black dress, you know, like strappy heels. Her hair is up, like big earrings, like very kind of like glam and glittery like makeup, like completely different to how we saw her last. And like there's like some girls sat on her bed, and they've all got shots because they're getting ready to go to the club.
We've all been there.
And like Aisha's saying, this is gonna be so expensive, like £20 for entry.
This is fine, just drink this bottle of wine before we go and then we'll be fine, and then we just pay to get in and we don't have to drink when we get there.
Fine,
drink it, Aisha, come on.
Stop, I literally just did my lipstick.
Down it.
And she like
and we'll get you a straw.
In the kitchen.
She gets a straw, puts it in the wine bottle and goes, "Strawpedo it."
She torpedoes it perfectly.
Yes, she does. Yes.
Of course.
Never torpedo wine, everyone.
Don't. This is fiction. You can do it in fiction. Yeah. Don't do it in real life.
Never do it in real life. You'll get halfway through the bottle and then throw up.
Yeah, no.
You might. Who knows? I've certainly never done that.
No. Why would you? Why? No. Of course not. No. I'm gonna have to tell you about a very interesting pre-drink shot after.
Maybe we'll have a chat in the break.
Yeah. But so get ready, and they're all like, you know, when you do the huddle, it's cold, but you don't want to bring a coat to the club because nobody's waiting in line for coat check.
I remember those days. I was so cold all the time.
Yeah, she's got like this little sparkly silver clutch, and she's like, hang on, they're waiting in line, and she's like, hang on, I've got an idea, and she pulls out a new press pass.
Yes.
And she waddles to the front. And she flashes her press pass and goes, I know there's a VIP event here tonight. I'm here to record this. This is my camera woman.
Yeah, hello.
This is my short form video content creator.
That's what I do.
And like, I think the bouncer is just like really doesn't care because the line is getting really rowdy where it's long, and he's just like ushers them all in.
Great.
You know.
Like,
they are inside.
Are you covering this event? I didn't know that.
Shh!
Oh,
shut
right.
up! Shut up!
You're good actors.
Yeah, it's so easy. People really need to be better at security. And they kind of like walk in, get their little like wristbands. And what's the club like, Emily? What's it called?
Me do it again.
What are the vibes? Of course I am.
The vibe. Okay. I think
vibes.
When you go in, you actually go in what looks like a front door. So it's like this big red door with like a letterbox, but no number.
Oh,
yeah. It's like looks like a house going in, and you go into this bar, and as you go in, right in front of you is a bar, like along one wall, and then the rest of the room is done up to look like a house. So it looks a bit like a house party, but it is a bar, and so there's like little sofas and things. There's a little smoking area out the back. There's some stairs leading down, and you can hear like louder dance music downstairs. You get the sense that this is the kind of chill out, hang out bit, and downstairs is more of a dance floor kind of vibe. And yeah, there's like little, like, you know, when places now do the like mismatched lamps everywhere. There's loads of mismatched lamps all on the walls, like lots of picture frames, different kinds of picture frames with pictures of like random people and like flowers. It's done to give that kind of house party vibe, but it's a bar, and the cocktails are dreadfully expensive. And
we're not drinking here.
It's fine. Your friends are done. They're good. I want to go dance, and one of them just sort of like immediately runs downstairs.
Interesting. I'm now going to make you roll a d4 because I've realized we didn't roll for the complication ahead of.
We didn't.
But no, this is great. We can do it however we want.
I got a 4.
Someone here flirts with you and you're not impressed.
Exciting. That's exciting.
Okay, right. How do we want to play this? Where is Suzy right now?
I think Suzy is currently finishing up at work. And she's wearing like a very smart blouse, like white blouse. She's got a pencil skirt, like a black pencil skirt on, and like a grey jacket over the top. And she is in her father's office. And I think we just see from the outside through this like glass windowed office, and Suzy just is having an argument with her father over something. And you can't hear what it's about. And she is just pacing and just shaking her head, arms wide, like it's all very animated and her father is just sat in a chair with a glass of brandy, just sort of swirling it and shrugging his shoulders. And eventually she storms out and storms down the hall and goes into her office. And we see her sort of like lean against her desk and buzz someone on her intercom. And Sally, I need a drink. Let's go out. And she like undoes her hair and like shakes her hair out. And you see this sort of slightly more meek receptionist, her PA, or they're not called PAs, paralegal. Her paralegal comes in, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, hi, Suzy. Do you want to go to the house party?" And she's like, That would be great. I need to not be around lawyers. And she goes, wait, before we go. And she has one of those globes that has booze in. And she opens it up and pulls out a very expensive looking vodka and pours 2 shots and hands one to Sally. And they both do a shot. And
let's go, ladies.
And she goes, right, let's go. And changes her shoes into like some higher heels and like shimmies the skirt up a little bit more. And I think as she's grabbing her bag, the camera focuses in on her left hand, and you see a very large diamond on her engagement ring.
Oh my goodness, incredible.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I wonder if we cut back to you quickly, but I think Suzy will appear very shortly.
Okay. So we're back in the house party. And I think that Aisha is kind of posted up on a wall, and like you can see her friends on the dance floor, and like this guy is talking to her. Aisha is quite short. She's probably like 5'4", and the way that the camera's positioned, you can't see the guy's face at all. But like much taller, like very broad, like tight white shirt, couple buttons open, like blue jeans, brown belt, kind of vibe going on. You know the kind of guy that I mean.
You know the kind of vibe.
And like she's just, smiling very pleasantly and like, but she's keeping an eye on her friends because she can see, and like one of them like reaches out and like grabs a drink from a stranger, and she's just like and like begins to push herself off the wall, but I think like the guy kind of does a half step in front of her
where he like presses yeah. It's hot if we like you, it's not hot if we don't.
Oh, you said it.
No, but as if we're in, like, as if I know you and I think you're hot. It's not hot if you're just a random person in the club. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We need villains in this story, and
We
all
do.
of the villains are men.
Whoops.
Who could have seen that come? No, not all guys are bad, but also maybe in this one they are. Who knows? So yeah, and Aisha does like the little duck around and goes and like begins to kind of just like she's trying to walk through and it's not really working, so she kind of begins to like kind of bop and shimmy, and like people are beginning to kind of like let her pass as she meets the vibe. I think is a very good kind of place for that.
Yeah, I think as you so you're down in the downstairs bit in the dance
area.
Yeah,
she's beginning to dance. And like she kind of gets her friends, and then she joins in the dance, like takes the glass and passes it back to whoever it was, and is just like very like trying to appear carefree, but like isn't quite right.
I think at this point you see doing that thing that girls do when they enter a club, and don't lie, you all do it, or you at least used to. I definitely did. Where she appears at the top of the stairs, and Suzy like shakes her hair out, and she starts walking down the stairs with a look of, I own this place, and everyone here wants me. And she starts like making her way down the stairs, and sort of pushing people out the way with a sort of like, okay, thank you, I need to get through. And people do move for her when she there is a presence to Suzy that makes, she's quite tall, and it moves people and she can get through, and she sort of pushes her way to the bar and sort of doesn't make much of a deal and just sort of waves at the bartender, small wave, and he immediately comes over and she's like, two Long Island iced teas,
when I was in uni and needed that.
We've all tried to be Suzy. I used to try to be Suzy. Sometimes I was successful at being Suzy.
Yeah, congratulations.
Back in the day. I'll tell you. We'll tell stories later, Taylor. Me and you. We won't share them with all of chat. We're glad you're here, chat. But we don't get to hear about Emily in her 20s.
That's exclusive Patreon.
That is very exclusive Patreon content. You have to be at a very high tier to hear those stories. And so I think she's at the bar and like orders some cocktails and also orders like a line of shots, and you can see Sally, this little paralegal, next to her looking a little bit terrified about what's about to happen, as she starts like passing like sambuca and vodka shots to Sally and just starts
Sally, no.
And Suzy looks like she wants to get fucked up.
Incredible. Fantastic. Right, so I think, is there a point at which like Suzy begins to make her way to the dance floor, do you reckon?
Oh yeah, I think sort of probably about 10 minutes after all of those drinks go down. The Long Island iced tea is also gone by then, and she makes her way to the dance floor, and I think potentially as she's dancing, I think the same gentleman, she sees him, and again we don't see his face, and her face just sort of drops, and she's like, what are you doing here? For fuck's sake, Grant, go home.
Oh no.
And he comes over and he's like, that's not a nice way to treat me. And she's like, I just want to have a drink with my friend. Please leave. Go. I'll be home in like some hours. And he's like, I'm going to go to a different bar. And she's like, fine, go to a different bar then. Find someone there. As he sort of walks out, and she's just fuming, and Sally's sort of like, are you, not Sally, yeah, Sally. And Sally's like, are you okay? And sort of, she's like, I'm fine. And just sort of carries on dancing.
I think because Aisha was watching out for this guy, because she missed everything in the previous scene because she was gone. Like, she watches that interaction and she sees you and she goes pale.
I think at this point she sort of is looking around and notices the one person not really dancing.
And yeah, they lock eyes. And Aisha just begins like to panic, like literal gay panic, because she's like doesn't know what to say or do in this moment, and it just feels like everything is gonna be wrong.
I think the room is also swirling a little bit for Suzy at this point, and she's like, and sort of, I think, begins to sort of try and make her way towards you as sort of the dance. She seems to have lost her ability to move through the crowd as the alcohol takes hold, and sort of people, and she can't quite get over, and she's like, and then Sally's like, Suzy, and sort of distracts her and pulls her back, and she carries on dancing. And I think maybe looks back and you're not quite in the same place, or she looks back to the wrong place because she's drunk.
So she looks back to she could look back to the right place, but Aisha has kind of exited the dance floor and has gone over to the bar. And she is not like Suzy. Like, she sits, like, has to like lean over and like wait her turn for like a few minutes. And then all she gets is a couple of waters with ice. And she turns back. And this is where Taylor gets to break the rules because it makes for a more interesting story. So in the span of about 15 minutes, what is Suzy doing? Like, as like Aisha is waiting at the bar.
I think she.
Where do we think Suzy is?
She loses Aisha, and so she goes back to dancing for a bit, but not long. Sort of does like maybe one song, then they play something that she's not really a big fan of, and she's like, oh, I need the toilet, and she sort of goes off to the toilet with Sally for a bit, and I think they probably spend a good 10 minutes in there, like powdering.
We've all been there.
And we've all been there. This is the tagline for this game. We've all been there, and then sort of begins to sort of make her way back out, but maybe goes, oh, let's go sit upstairs. I need to sit down. The room's spinning, and sort of glances back into the dance floor as she sort of heads back upstairs.
I think that like.
Or goes to head back upstairs.
I think she goes to head back upstairs, and somebody calls out to Sally. I think, and some people who know Sally kind of like go and they grab her and they're just like, just one dance, because again, we've all been there, where like our friends, the other friends at the club, and
I'm gonna get a drink. And so she goes back in, but heads to the bar rather than going for the dance, while Sally goes and dances with her friends.
And I think at that point, Aisha like turns around and she's got the two waters, and she's like, okay, time to woman up and do the thing, and then you're like there.
Hello.
Hi.
I know you, don't I? Why do I know you?
Brownie camp.
Sorry?
Take this. Come with me.
Okay.
And Aisha gives like you the water and begins to kind of like usher you to like a little like table in like the smoking area outside,
Nice
like
vodka.
a little like high bar. Yeah, vodka. But it's water.
Brownie camp.
Yeah, you're Suzy, right?
Yes.
I'm Aisha. The last time that we spoke, we were washing dishes.
Dishwasher girl.
Oh gosh, I hope that's not how you remembered me.
Well, no, that's what we did together, and then I never I went home, didn't I? So yeah, that was that.
Yeah. And hi, how have you been?
Good. How are you? Washed any dishes lately? That's a bad question. I'm drunk. I'm sorry.
It's okay. And I think Aisha's hand kind of flinches on the table as if she was going to move it, and then stops herself. Yeah, I washed dishes just tonight after dinner.
Oh.
What about you? When was the last time you washed a dish?
Honestly, I get takeout a lot. I stay at work really late, so actually I don't know. I made toast this morning. I think I put it in the dishwasher. God, when was the last time I washed dishes? And I think as she does that, she holds her hand up to her head, and you see the ring.
Aisha very slowly and telegraphed, it just kind of puts a hand on Suzy's shoulder, and it's like, hey, it's okay. you can afford a dishwasher. Like, I think my apartment used to have one. There's like a hole in my kitchen. I think the last tenant maybe stole the
Oh
dishwasher.
no, I didn't know you could steal a dishwasher.
Yeah, they're actually really easy to unplumb if you know what you're looking for and you're strong enough to move the unit.
It sounds like you've stolen a dishwasher.
I have replaced the
It
dishwasher.
sounds like you stole it. It sounds like this was you. I think
Hang
you're a
on.
thief. I'm gonna
That's
prosecute
profiling. You can't do that.
I'm a lawyer now.
You're a lawyer. Yeah, I know. You won that big case a year ago.
Oh, yes. That one. Yes, I did. That
You
was,
did, and you threw a
yes.
fancy party. It was a lovely party.
Have you been stalking me?
I was pressed at the party, and I like get out from my clutch my little press pass, the new one, and like I show it.
You dropped your pass. You
I
lost
did
it.
drop. I did drop my. I had to get a new one. It was a whole thing. I got in big trouble.
Why did you leave? You ran away. Journalists
Yes.
don't run out of those parties.
No. So one of my crew had got involved in a motor accident. And I had to leave.
Oh, I'm fucking that up. This is up, aren't I? I'm sorry.
No. How were you supposed to know? Like, you had your lovely entrance, and then you were talking with everyone, and just like at Brownie Camp, you were like the life of the space. Like, and you know, it's not your job to know everything.
I feel like it kind of is at the moment. Sorry, that's unnecessary. Unnecessary. Yeah,
It's okay.
big party. It was a good party.
It was a good party.
Why are you here?
It's my friend's birthday. You know, we did pre-drinks at mine because mine's the closest to here, and then, you know, they're on the dance floor, and I really hope they're not drinking strangers' drinks again. But they're adults.
They're adults. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be fine?
I'm always fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I had an argument with my boss earlier. He wants me to work on a case. I don't want to do it. So. But I don't know if I have a choice. And that sucks. Because one of these days, I'd just really like to have a choice about something, you know? Sorry, you make me talk.
Yeah, I like listening. It's okay. But, you know, there's always a choice, right? Like, it's your life. You only get one. If you're not happy with where you work and they're forcing you to do things, like, when there are other cases available, you could leave.
No one else will hire me. I'm a nepotism hire, so no one thinks I'm worth it.
Well, you won that case, and you can't win cases through nepotism. It's illegal.
Yeah,
Like, you have a track record of being good.
I'm very good.
You're so good. You've made it onto the cover of magazines. Don't think I haven't seen.
No, you didn't see that. Oh, it was awful.
I did.
Oh, did
I
you
did.
see the makeup they put on me?
Look, I'm
Oh,
not a
look.
makeup artist. However, if I was doing that interview, I would have made them go back in.
Take it off.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like the nose. They contoured it so thin. So it's
Yeah.
gonna come off my face.
If it wasn't for the name, I wouldn't have known it was you. I'll be honest. But no, that's good.
Oh.
Keep your identity. Your identity. You know, people don't know what you really look like.
You're
But the point
fine.
is this: I read about all of like the successes you had. You know,
Yeah.
and also, not you have choice. You could go somewhere else, or you could, you know, start your own, like, farm, or you could change careers, or like
I
there
can't-
is so much more left to life. You don't have to just do what other people are telling you to do. It's fine.
my life is going in a direction, and it's a good direction. I'm happy. I like the direction. I just sometimes it feels like a ride I can't quite get off. You know, it's not a bad ride. There's just maybe other ones that I would like to try, but how are you meant to do that when everyone wants you to do this thing? So you have to do the thing because they'll be sad. And oh, you're doing it again! You're doing it again, Aisha. You talk now. I want to hear about you.
Me?
Yes, tell me everything. You're a journalist. What's your scoop?
I'm a journalist. I cover events. You know, like the who's who and the where's where and how much did it cost and all of
it's always cost too much money. Always.
Yeah. Honestly, like the per head at that party last year was more than I make in a month. Like it was, but that's okay because that's just life, and I get to see all of these beautiful things, you know, even if I don't get to have and she kind of like trails off a little bit, even if I don't get to have the beautiful things, you know,
the beautiful things hide a lot of ugly people, and I don't mean, you know, faces wise.
Aisha opens her mouth and she closes it again. And she goes, it's gonna be okay. I think you've had a lot to drink. Would you like me to call you a cab?
Yes, I should go home. But Aisha, it's I mean, I hope it'll be okay for you. I don't want to tell you it will.
My life is good. I have friends, I have family, I have my own apartment.
You have a partner?
No. But that's okay. I don't need one to be fulfilled.
No.
You know?
No, you don't.
I get to choose what I want to do and where I want to go. And I really hope that the next time that I see you, you get to do what you want to. Because you always have a choice. Always have a choice. And she'll get up and like move away from the table to call a cab.
Okay. I think as she moves away, Suzy looks down at her ring and just sort of starts fiddling with it and keeps like glancing back at Aisha and back at the ring. And,
and Aisha will walk you to the sidewalk, put you in a cab. And is there any like kind of last thing that you want to say to her before she leaves?
Wait, no, hang on, no, stop. I couldn't write you a postcard because you didn't give me your address.
I never did give you my address. Here, and out of the clutch, she pulls out a pen, and she just writes on your forearm.
We've all been there as well. Anyway, sorry. Yes,
we've all been there. And then she like gives the cabbie an extra tenner, to make to smooth out any bumps in the ride because she knows you had some to drink. And she'll go in and she'll find Sally and because she remembered the person you were with and just be like, hey, I've put her in a cab. She's home. Maybe give her a call.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. And I'm gonna ask you a really loaded question.
Do it.
What happens to your arm that you can't read what was written on there?
Yeah. What happens to the arm? Oh, something definitely happens. I think she gets home, she passes out, straight on the bed, and Grant is not home when she gets in. And I wonder if he comes back and sort of sees the arm, dangling over the side of the bed, and sits down next to her on the bed and sort of puts his hand on the arm, and on his face he just looks annoyed and confused about a number being on his fiance's arm, and sort of puts his hand over it, and as he wakes her up he just sort of smudges it He's like, hey, wake up, are you okay? And she's like, yes, I drank too much, I'm going to sleep now. You come to bed. And she like just pulls him into bed, and they fall asleep.
I need chat to be in an uproar right now because I'm about to cause a scene.
I'm making Grant the villain, everyone, in case can confirm that chat do not like Grant.
Good.
I feel like, unless there's anything more you want to do in that scene, how does Aisha's night end?
Aisha's night ends the way that all the mum friends' nights end. Like she makes sure that everyone gets home, and then she kind of goes home, and like she's buzzed like still, but she's like incredibly happy. And like, she like gets ready for bed, and there's like a little like pep in her step kind of thing, where she's like, maybe this is something, and she kind of lets her hopes get up a little bit again, and she's just like, maybe this is something, and it's just like, it just ends with her like in her little plaid pajamas, and she flicks off the light.
So we have now coming up scene 4, which we previously decided before knowing. We have not planned any of the details of the story. All we planned were the locations of each of the scenes.
This is our last planned scene as well, so we don't know what happens
in the final scene.
in the finale.
And this scene is at a wedding. What's going to happen? I've got an idea.
Okay. Right.
We need
Hang
to roll.
on. Oh, I need to flip the page on my book. Okay, so we know where the setting is. So hang on, do you want to roll and see whether we meet and then do what we did for scene 2, where we kind of roll the complication a little way in?
Oh yeah, that's fun. Let's do that. That was fun. I liked that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a D4.
This is a D4.
Oh, come on. Meet.
Oh.
No!
It's okay.
It's okay.
It'll be fine.
It makes sense in the story that Aisha's probably annoyed, so it makes sense, right?
Hang on, she's flipping. So we're gonna glimpse each other. So you start.
I start. That makes sense. Okay.
You start this scene.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna.
I'll let you take it away, and then in a bit I'll prompt you to be like, "Hey, we're gonna roll for a complication."
Okay. I'm gonna describe this scene from the view of the camera. So, I think we start outside, and you see this big church, and people are coming in. It's full-on wedding hats. It's not quite white tie, but it's very much a black tie wedding. Like, the men are in proper suits, the women are in long dresses. It's sort of spring. There's like blossoms outside. Oh, actually no, it's winter. It's Christmas. It's another year. Let's say it.
Christmas wedding. Another year.
Another year. I'm in for the years.
Yes,
let's just go.
Oh, this is like that movie with Anne Hathaway, One Day.
Oh, I haven't seen.
Did you see that one?
No.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you about it later. I'll tell you about it later.
And we're following like people in as they're filing in and sitting down. And we see standing at the altar in a very lovely suit. We see Grant. He is clean shaven. He looks great, guys. I don't know why everyone hates Grant so much. His suit is perfectly fitted. He looks stunning. Like, this is if he was wearing a Christmas jumper, he'd be like sweater model kind of level of attractive, but he's wearing a suit. And as the guests all sort of filter in and settle down, an organ starts to play, and the sorry, I've got to automod has blocked "oh fuck off Grant," so I'm just gonna allow that. There you go. And the organ starts to play, and the doors open, and we see a woman with a veil covering her face, and the camera turns back and focuses on Grant's face as music plays, and you see him sort of smiling and looking down the aisle, looking at his groomsmen in the way that some men do at their wedding. They don't focus on their bride, and he's sort of like looking at them like, hey, we're doing all right. And we see from behind this woman as they approach, and he sort of takes her hands, and the camera begins to pull back and turns slightly. And you see, sat a few rows back, quite a few rows back, you see Suzy with her arms crossed, sat in the stalls. Stalls? What are they called?
I don't know.
The things in the church. The benches.
Pews. We got that.
Yeah. And you see her like sat in the pews. And I think also when, just to jump back a little bit, when he takes her hand, you see the same engagement ring that was Suzy's on the finger.
No.
And you see her sat in the thing, and Sally is next to her and just sort of turns to her and goes, "You have to at least pretend to smile." And she's like, "Sorry, I forgot," and like plasters on a fake smile. And the wedding continues, and you see Grant marry, and I think eventually the face is revealed. And Taylor, if you'll allow me, can we do a little mini flashback?
Please.
Something that we missed in the previous scene.
Of course.
I think as Suzy told Grant to fuck off in the club, he began moving through the dance floor and bumped in to one of Aisha's friends, and did his little schmoozy Grant sleazeball thing, and he takes her hand and writes his number on her hand, and we now see that the same woman is the person Grant is marrying. So yes, and so we see Suzy sat there, very grumpy, but plastering on the smile now, and and I think maybe we cut to a bit, maybe the reception.
I think that was a really good time to roll for the complication and just see what's up. Go roll.
I got a 3.
Oh, well.
You spot your evil ex in the crowd. Okay, well that's... Should I roll again?
Yeah.
Because he's kind of there anyway.
Hang on, let me see. Because the other thing we can do is we can just choose.
Let's see.
Um,
I'll talk to a friend who seems incredibly unkind.
See, a couple of these things, because like, for example, number 2, you see someone you're close to betraying the trust of someone else they care about. That kind of feels relevant.
That does feel relevant.
You're off.
Talking to a friend, they say something taken out of context that seems incredibly unkind. Also kind of harks back to the first scene where people were being mean to Aisha.
Okay.
But
I would like to set this up where I'm gonna put a lot of pressure on you, and you're gonna be the one to say something that out of context is really unkind.
Okay.
Right, because I think that you need a second to pop off. So, I'm gonna introduce Aisha now.
Okay.
Because Aisha was conspicuously missing from the ceremony. Like, the camera does the sweep across the crowd, and like after you see that it's her friend's face, and Aisha is not there, and it pans across the groomsmen, it pans across the bridesmaids, and she is not there. And you see, like, it cuts to Aisha, and she's in the back of a cab. And she is like, I think that she's gone for like black pants, like white frilly blouse, and then like a black and blue brocade like corset waistcoat. Like there's like the like suit jacket is thrown across her lap. And she's like fiddling just with something small, and you can't really see what it is, but she's like fiddling with something, and it flashes back to a couple of like sometime after the nightclub, where she's talking to her friend, and like her friend is talking about this guy, and it flashes back to like Aisha in the cab, and then it goes back to a different point where she meets Grant, and you see her drag her friend away, and it flashes back to the cab again, and she's like again, like just like this thing is moving faster and faster in her hands, and it flashes back again, and she's like yelling at her friend, being like, "What are you doing? Like, he's married, he's engaged, like," and she's like, "I don't care, I love him." And it's back in and it's back in the cab, and she's like crushing this thing in her hand now. And we're back again, and like it's like at this engagement party, and this friend is showing off the engagement ring, and Aisha knows this engagement ring. She knows what's going on, and she like stands up and like downs her wine and like leaves, kind of thing, you know. And we're back in the cab, and she's squeezing this thing so tight. And then like you see her, and like she looks at her phone. There are no missed calls, there are no missed texts, and she kind of just looks around, and she takes the brownie sachet, she just throws it across the room. And then she's back in the
Sorry.
I know, and she's back in the cab, and she takes a deep breath and releases it. And like the brownie patch like just kind of unfurls from her hand and kind of lays across like her lap, and she looks down at it, and she just kind of like tucks it into a pocket, and like gets up and gets out of the cab, and like walks up, and it's like, and like it's like dark now, and it's all beautiful like wedding fairy lights and bows and sashes everywhere as she like comes, because she has been invited to the reception even though she was not there at the ceremony.
Okay.
What's Suzy doing?
Suzy is drinking again. Suzy is I think her dad is there as well. I think for purposes of why she is at the wedding, I think Grant is probably also a partner at her dad's law firm. Whether Suzy still works there or not, let's not go with whether we know for certain. And I think she is just sort of chatting, mainly with Sally. She is trying not to go too much out of her comfort zone. I didn't say what she was wearing. I think she's wearing a sort of pale pink sort of strapped dress. Oh, it's Christmas. No, we said it's Christmas, didn't we? I think she's got one of those. Oh, you know what she's done? She has a very cream-coloured dress with lots of red embellishments.
No, she didn't.
You couldn't say it was a white dress, but it's not her proudest moment that she's done. But she's also making a point that a year ago this man was engaged to her, and she's been invited to the wedding, and so she's wearing sort of an off-white cream dress with like roses around the base, and like across it's like strapless. And they sort of come around here.
Revenge
red
dress.
Roses. It's a very revenge dress. She looks great.
Revenge dress.
Her hair's like half up, half down, sort of light curl. And her makeup is like red lipstick. It's a little femme fatale kind of vibe. And I think she's having a few drinks, talking mainly with Sally, occasionally just sort of trying to catch the eye of various people around the room and sort of give a little like come hither look. But I think her heart's not particularly in it. And at some point, I think she goes up to the happy couple, and is just and sort of shakes their hands. And is like, "I'm so happy for you. I'm really glad you found each other when you did." And then just sort of spins on her heel and walks away. And you could see people were listening to the exchange, and she's being very fine about it, but then proceeds to go to the toilet and throw up because out of anxiety and nerves. And
Amen.
Why am I here? I should go home. Oh god. And like gets a tap water and like drinks a few glasses of tap water to try and sober herself up, and then begins to make her way back upstairs. We need to work in this complication, don't we?
So I think to kind of help set you up,
Go for it.
there's like a little area outside with like these like fire pits going. So who's someone that you would feel confident, or that Suzy would feel confident talking to?
I think she would happily talk to most people. It could be the in-laws. It could be his parents, because she would know them.
Right. I think what could be really interesting here. There was a third friend that night.
Okay.
So I think Aisha hasn't actually gone inside yet. She's hanging around outside, and like she wanders off to go to the toilet and leaves her friend outside, like with their drinks. And I think the friend like kind of stops you, like if you come outside, and it's like, hey, I know you. You're familiar.
Um, I don't know you. Sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't recognize you. If you know Grant,
No,
that
I'm
ring
a
was
friend of
mine.
the bride's.
Oh, isn't she
Right
beautiful?
side.
Doesn't she look beautiful?
I mean, I think she's looked better,
No.
but you know.
Oh, you think she looked better? Interesting. I do genuinely think she looks lovely.
White isn't her color. It hasn't ever been her color, but it's okay. Like, you know, fancy wedding and all. And I mean, she tried to have a different color dress, and he said no. So,
She didn't want to wear white.
well, why would she wear white?
Oh, because she's a whore. Sorry. No.
Like,
sorry.
I mean, you said it, not me.
Sorry. Suzy. Nice to meet you.
Philippa,
Hi, Philippa.
come sit.
Okay. Oh. So, how did you? When did you first meet Grant then?
Oh, I think the night that they met, he was like around. Like, first he tried it on with our other friend Aisha. I don't even know where she's gone.
Sorry.
And
Sorry,
then,
no,
like,
stop. Wait. I think I misheard you. You know Aisha
yeah, I've known Aisha for like ages.
and Grant. Aisha was flirting with Grant. They were flirting together.
No, like Aisha isn't interested in men. Like that's not her vibe.
Oh, okay. And she like stares down. I assume she's got a red wine. She just sort of stares into it, like, oh yes, no, right, yes. Not interested in men. That makes
No,
yes.
he was trying it on and getting no with her. So like, he then moved on.
You could say that.
Wait,
Yeah.
so if you're not here with Philippa, I guess you're here with him on his side.
Technically, yes. I know Grant from work. We met at work, and we knew each other. We were fairly good friends, and we engaged for a couple of years. So,
What?
yes, that's me. I'm here. The ex-fiance, the one he left. I was in the bar that night. I was there. I was there, and I didn't see it happen.
Oh my gosh.
But sorry, just that's not important. Aisha, is she here?
Yeah, she was just. I don't know. And the friend looks around. It's like, I don't know where she's gone.
Right, I just
You know Aisha?
kind of. We met a couple of times, and she just seemed nice.
Yeah, Aisha's great.
You know,
Aisha takes care of all of us.
she I can imagine that. Growing up where she did. I think it's just the way she is.
And I think at that point, Aisha kind of like is like, well, what's that supposed to mean?
Aisha, I just meant because you had to take care of the people around your family. You're just. I just thought you were. Sorry, I said it doesn't make sense. Hi. I'm so sorry, and she will walk off, and she will leave. And I think with that, she leaves and she hails a cab, and she leaves the wedding.
I think there's a moment like Aisha turns, and like in the background for us, like, Aisha, you're being gay again. Like, what's going on? And Aisha just turns around with a look like, I'm always gay. Shush. And then she kind of turns back and you kind of leave, and she's like, she was already primed and angry, and she wasn't expecting to see Suzy here, and this is not how she thought things would go, and she doesn't know how to process it. And like you watch her, and she goes inside, and she very pointedly avoids the bar. She goes in, and like she does like a couple of dances, but her heart's not in it, and she goes and she pointedly does not look the groom in the eye. And like she does the whole "oh, you look lovely" thing to her friend, like congratulations. And then she leaves. But I think she stops and she talks to Sally first, and you can't really hear what they're saying. But there's this there's like this very quick passing conversation in "oh, I know you, hi, how have you been?" Kind of thing. And then something else is said. And like processing and understanding, and even though she was a bit like up first, like her shoulders like kind of begin to relax a bit. And like, but she leaves early. She's really not invested in any of this. And she's like, and she leaves. She gets in her cab. And goes home. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any like kind of after scene that is appropriate here.
I think Suzy definitely goes home, and I think you see a sort of, you haven't really seen inside Suzy's house before, and I think in her new flat, which was her flat now, she's moved out from where she was staying with Grant, living with Grant. I think you see that there is, quite similar to what Aisha had, there are cutouts of Aisha's work, and nothing of Suzy's accomplishments is anywhere. But there is also on the desk an envelope, and if you were to see inside that envelope, it would be her resignation letter, but it still sits on her desk in her study.
Oh no! Okay, right. I love this. Oh, this is so good. Right. So. Okay, right. My brain is processing. So now we're in the finale. So here we just roll a d4, or you can pick one of the tropes that's listed on the table. I'm gonna leave it to you. Would you like to roll? Would you like to or would you like to choose?
I like number 3.
You like 3. You happen upon something that triggers deep lore mode, whether it's something a character is carrying with them like a token, or they come across
It's the childhood memory kind of.
Yeah, it's a childhood memory. Childlike excitement or wistfulness comes over them.
Oh, maybe not. Hang on. Where first meeting place is fun. Worst shame. That's nice too. I never thought I'd see you here as very cute.
You don't really have like a place for that one though. Okay.
No, yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna kind of right. I'm thinking what would be good here, because first meeting place, that could either be like the kind of camp, or it could be that, or it could be did you say the club was called House Party?
Yeah. Yeah, I just came up with it. Yes,
I like it.
The other thing it could be, which isn't quite the same, but oh no, I don't think it works. No, I like House Party's quite fun.
Okay, I've got a pitch.
Okay.
I would like for Suzy to hand in her resignation letter.
I agree. Yeah.
And I would like for Aisha to be coming to find her at the office as she's sleeping.
I like it. Okay. Yeah.
Because Aisha does know where you work. She's just never been brave enough to go to where you work to find you, because that's weird and stalkerish. Yeah. However, she feels bad. And so, I'm gonna hand the floor over to you then, if you're happy with that.
Yeah.
Because I, Taylor, outside of being a player in this game, need to know what happens with Suzy's resignation.
I think you see Suzy in her office, like holding the letter and just like tapping it on her hand, she goes back to her emails and like scrolls down and just opens one that has a job offer in, and I don't think we see where it's from yet, but and she sort of looks at it, and it maybe pans down to a salary, and it's not a high salary, it's a very low salary in fact, and she sort of taps the envelope, and she just sort of, and then sort of grips it, deep breath, and walks out and knocks on the door of her father's office. And I think it cuts there, and then we come back to her walking back in her office, shutting the door, massive smile, leans on the back of her door, and like looks up at a trophy on the wall, and it says something along the lines of best lawyer to go along with the best brownie badge. And she sort of looks at it and touches it, and then just knocks it onto the floor, and it smashes. And
let's go.
She steps over it and just starts packing things into a box on her desk, and kicks the door open, and then begins walking downstairs with everyone just staring at her as she goes, and she sort of salutes Sally as she goes and walks past Grant's office, middle finger, and just keeps going, and everyone's sort of like poking their heads out, and she's like,
can I add a detail here?
Please.
Okay, Grant is in his office, door open, and he's kind of like leaning eagerly across the desk, as like a young bright-eyed paralegal, is like animatedly asking him questions.
She stops, puts the box down, and just leans back and goes, he's married, he was engaged to me, and his dick's tiny. And then just sort of turns, picks up the box, and just keeps walking out.
Let's go. And I think the rest of the office hears that too.
Oh, for sure. She was not being quiet.
And there's an uproar. I would really love for Sally to run interference so Grant can't chase you out.
Sure.
I think that is like a really fun. Of course she would.
She would. She's solid, Sally.
But,
yeah.
Sally's great. Sally is bestie. Yeah. That's really fun. I absolutely love that. Amazing exit.
Gets to the out the lift doors, revolving doors, and moves towards the revolving doors, and probably just steps into them. I think probably at almost exactly the moment that you step into them. So they're both in a compartment of the revolving doors, kind of seeing each other, like, you go round and go outside.
Okay. Outside. Okay.
And,
Aisha steps out, and she's in the like a long tan coat and like ankle boots, like hair like massive curly hair down, and she's like, hi. Where do you need help with those boxes?
Yes, my car is round the back. I don't want to be near here right now. Just one sec.
We can walk and talk. And she takes like a box.
Thank you.
And like just like Hi. You made a choice.
You're here.
Yeah. I know it's a bit weird and stalkerish, but like I felt bad about the wedding and taking things too personally. Like, you were going through such a tough time, and I wasn't even expecting you there anyway. It's weird that they invited you.
It is, right? That was fucked up. Sorry for swearing. What would Mrs. Badgerflame say?
You know what? Why don't we go somewhere where we don't have to wash dishes and you can swear as much as you want?
I think that sounds great. And I think they put in the boot of her car. There is a tiny little pub. It fits like 4 people just round the corner, and it's never busy.
I love that. That sounds great. Do they do fish and chips?
Oh, for sure. I normally have the cheese toasty, but yes.
Let's go get some food. You look like you could do with some food, a drink, and maybe if you want, you can tell me about the very big decision that you just made?
You know what? I don't want to talk about it. It was the best thing I ever did. I told everyone Grant had a small penis.
Does he?
It's not the biggest.
I mean,
and I don't even know if I like penises, so sorry.
Hey,
that was weird to say.
Let's get you a drink.
Let's do that. Let's.
You said you don't want to talk about it, but I think you have thoughts, and I think I'm interested to hear them.
I know you are, and that's why I want to hear yours instead.
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, my first thought is that I hope that this pub has like cushions, because I hate the wooden benches.
Oh, they definitely do. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I think we go in and it's one of those little, like, is a bar and like 4 seats along the bar. But they're lovely padded cushions. I think we're still in winter, and so she orders 2 mulled wines.
Yes.
Get, like, cozy little mugs.
I would like for the camera to kind of pan back here, and you kind of just like see in this way that you have throughout this story, like they're sitting and talking, and people kind of get up and leave and come and sit down, and like the bartender switches out, and like you can see like the glasses come and go in front of them, and food comes and goes in front of them, and they just talk, and I think that is beautiful. And I think at like there's one point where Aisha kind of just like reaches for your hand and gives it a squeeze. And maybe she doesn't let go immediately.
I think Suzy definitely doesn't let go if you do that.
Aww. But yeah, it's just nice. And yeah, I'm kind of happy for that scene to end there.
Me too.
Would you like to add anything onto the end as we kind of come to the end of this romantic story we've made together?
I would. Just one thing. I think like as the credits roll of this lovely movie, I think you get like snapshots of like maybe Suzy and Aisha like going forward, how long they stay together for. I like to think forever. But you know, we won't fully give it away because we need to leave space for a sequel. But I think you see
100%.
You see Suzy at one point, and you see her at a sink, like washing dishes. And I think as it sort of pans around, you see people bringing in dishes, and she finishes washing dishes, and she goes and picks up another crate of food and goes out and starts handing it out to people. And I think Suzy has quit her lawyer job to go and work in a homeless shelter, helping people in need, and washing
that's
dishes
so lovely.
That's what I think her journey is. And I think maybe Aisha comes to help occasionally and volunteers.
100%.
I think Suzy probably runs it a little bit, and that's where the paycheck comes from. But it's not a big paycheck, but she's happier. So
yeah.
Maybe do they have a little baby who goes to Brownies?
Oh, they kind of have
to.
They
have to, right? And they give her the best brownie badge.
100%. They give her the best brownie badge. Something that I want to add is like you see all of these photos on the wall, and you can see like a date like from very early on, and they go horse riding, and it's like a couple of snapshots, and like the first one is like Aisha being absolutely terrified, and then it kind of goes to like confident. And then like time passes and like she's just like racing ahead on this horse.
Yeah.
I feel like, and she kind of gets like really confident with that. And you see like newspaper articles that Aisha's written like covering like Suzy's work in the homeless shelter and stuff like that. And I just think that there's a lot of like little mementos. But I do love the last one being like 2 moms dropping off their kid at Brownie Camp. I think that's really sweet.
Yeah. I think that's lovely. And they're like looking at the little best brownie badge. And when she comes back from Brownie Camp, I think Suzy starts to sew it on, pricks her finger again, and sort of manages not to swear in front of her child, and hands the sewing over to Aisha. And it's like, no, I can't, you do it.
Yes! Oh, that's beautiful. What a lovely little... We did it! We did a romance!
Oh,
yay!
I love them! Oh, Suzy and Aisha forever.
Yes.
Oh, and we also get a clip of Grant on his own with no one loves him, and he's divorced and sad and and gets fired. Let's go with that. Yay!
Yes. Yay!
Yay!
Happy endings all around.
Yay! Oh, Taylor, thank you so much. What a delight. That was so fun.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Claps for Taylor for writing such a beautiful game and playing it so wonderfully. This was so fun. My goodness. I cannot tell you how fun that is to play. That is the level of like freedom that you feel, but also not so much like there's such good constraints on it. Like I felt like I could take it wherever I wanted. But it gave me a guideline of working out how to do it.
Yeah.
And that is so brilliant. And like, oh, please go. Like, hang on, right? Let me do the thing in chat. Look, go buy it. There it is. It's on Drive-Thru RPG. I cannot express enough how much I enjoyed that. That is such a good 2-player game. Like, such a good 2-player game.
Fun fact: I'd never played a 2-player game before I wrote this. So yeah, I like I'll be honest. We didn't play test it either. I would no, not at all. It was a case of so a little bit of context is I wanted to make a game where dice matching mattered, where getting the same number as the person you're playing with was important. And I was like,
very badly at that.
Yeah, but the points away still make it very interesting and very wistful and very but this was originally, I was like, oh, I could make another combat game, but that's not really like what would be more interesting. And I've always loved romance. I've always loved people falling in love. And so I was like, oh, this could be like a misconnection thing. And all of this kind of blossomed out of that. And I knew the mechanics were solid enough. And the thing is, I have like this really core belief of you will never play a game the way that the game designer intended it to be played, and that's just because everything is open to interpretation and it's your game, your rules. Like, it's why I was very free flow with this, because to me the narrative is more important than the mechanics.
Yes.
And so yeah, I kind of I made it so like we don't really need to playtest it because we know that like there's so minimal dice rolling. It's not like we need to balance mechanics. It's literally just a case of people just need to be brave enough to tell a love story.
Yeah, I think that is it. It's a bravery thing. It's stepping forward and doing it. And I think the mechanics that are there are so good at facilitating that rather than like derailing it or like distracting from it. It's so brilliant. Oh, it's really beautiful. I want to play again.
You can play as many times as you want, mate.
Right? You can just keep playing it.
There are
also different settings we should say about that, because there's like a sci-fi setting, there's a Regency setting, there's what's the other one?
Superheroes, enemy. So I am gonna go a little bit because I was so happy. I wasn't sure we were gonna hit this stretch goal. This was like the final stretch goal. So we've got the sci-fi setting written by Nathan Blades. And that is like mech and space war and like psychedelic experiences, which is just so good. I played that one with JC Darcy. That was fantastic. There's the Regency setting by Valiant Dorian, like just the epitome of gentleman for me. Val is amazing. You might know Val from Transplanar. Is currently on the Chaos Protocol. And I played that one. I don't know if that ever aired, but we played it, and it was so gay. I love it.
So gay.
Regency is my favorite kind of genre. I think, and just like having like this really queer Regency romance was fantastic. I've never been straight in this game. I will just put that out there. I'm a bisexual woman. I love my husband. I have been gay in every single time I've played this game. And then the last one that we have is enemies to lovers. So you play as superhero and supervillain in like a comic book style setting, and that's by Armand Babu, who you might know from like Weave Games, works with Porna, and they make such beautiful games, including their own romance game called Love Is on the Cards, which is a Christmas rom-com game that I highly recommend. Like, I've never seen mechanics serve a story so well. Like, you play with a deck of cards instead of dice, and oh goodness, It's so good. You can go watch me play that over on Desi's and Dragons. I like
Yeah,
played that like last year. That was really good.
we love this.
But yeah, no, love in all of the settings.
Oh, it
It's
makes you
great.
feel all squishy and warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so lovely. And you mentioned Christmas rom-com, and I feel like I should plug it because it was a couple of years ago now, but we did do a Christmas rom-com one-shot a long time ago, a couple of years back. If you look up Small Town Big Christmas on our YouTube channel, it's one of my favourite things we did. We played in person with the 4 original RPGeeks.
Really?
Yeah, we were all in my flat, just in the dining room in the lounge, lounge kitchen, all of the things. And yeah, it's just us sat around a table, absolutely losing our damn minds.
I'm gonna go watch that.
It's one of my
I love
favorite
that.
things we've ever done, and it goes very not what you we advertised. We were like, we're gonna do like a Christmassy rom-com vibe, like it's like all these big shots get sent to a small town, and they wanted, we were the bad guys basically going in, but it was like, can the spirit of Christmas like make them change their ways, and it went, to say off the rails is an understatement. We were all drinking like mulled wine and things while it was going on, and it was,
Oh my gosh,
it was
that's
chaos.
so fun.
The ending is one of my favorite endings to any game I've ever played, ever. I highly recommend it.
Nice.
Yes, and I should plug some other things that we have coming up because
Do
it's
that.
important.
That's important.
And then we'll do all of your plugs as well, more plugs for the game especially. But what we have next week is, hey, remember when we played Daggerheart and didn't finish that 4-part series because everyone got sick, and by everyone I mean myself. We didn't. It was months ago in the summer. The other day we recorded the final part, and it comes out next Thursday. We are uploading parts 1 to 3 on our YouTube channel this week. So they will all be up by the time Thursday rolls around, and then that will go out next Thursday, and then that will be on the YouTube. And Shattered, a Daggerheart actual play, is complete. And we also just today at lunchtime, recorded our post-show Patreon chat. So if you did like Daggerheart, you can hear us talk about the system, about the story, what we liked, what we didn't like, and things like that. And the other thing I would like to plug, I'm just checking my list of things to plug, is the week after that we have another one-shot coming up. We're in one-shot season because it's Christmas. Is Food Story is the title of it. It is a Shamini Bundell one-shot, which means Shamini has created a whole new system for it because she's incapable of running pre-made systems. She makes them herself, and they're always fantastic. I've seen the 2 stats that we have, and it's hilarious, and I'm very excited. Shamini, you're in chat. Can I announce the guests that we have for that, or should I not announce the guests that we have for that? I can tease that they're very cool guests.
Oh, I bet. Everyone who's on RPGeeks is cool, and I'm not saying that because I'm finally on RPGeeks.
That is... Is this your first time?
Yeah, I think this is... Because I can never make Blood on the Clock Tower because it starts before my kids go to bed,
Yes.
so...
If you want to join for a later game, we normally play 2. So I can say who they are. I'm just going to check that
who
I've got
are
the names
they?
right. I just want to make sure I just want to check it's sorry. Talk amongst yourselves, chat.
Chat, you've done such a good job
have done
today.
a
Thank
great
you
job
so
today.
much for joining me in my hatred of Grant. He's the worst.
Hopefully, Shamini, look at your phone and just reply to my message. Yes, okay, I'm right. So the 3 guests, it will be Shamini GMing, it will be myself playing. We're going to be playing Food. I'm very excited. And I'm just going to check what Shamini said because there's some really exciting things. Oh, that's it. So she doesn't really know the setting or the story yet. She's going to be going to our Patreon to get ideas, to wean them all off of you. So it's a really cool time to join the Patreon if you do fancy it, because you'll get to input for this game, which features From Oxventure, Johnny, I can never pronounce their last name, Chiodini, I think that's right, apologies Johnny if it's not, Luke Westway from Oxventure, and Laurie Blake from No Rolls Barred. So we're bringing in the big guns for this one. It's going to be very silly, and if you want to make them do silly things, get on over to our Patreon. It's at RPGeeks D&D, as all of our things are. And okay, Shamini is typing in our WhatsApp chat, so I'm worried that I've forgotten to say something. Shamini, what have I forgotten? Oh no. You can follow us all over on socials at RPGeeks D&D, Johnny Chiodini, and Luke Westaway. Westaway, there you go. I said Westway. Johnny Chiodini, Luke Westaway, and Laurie Blake. It is a cool lineup, and I am very excited. We're going to be playing food. I'm kind of tempted to play like a Christmas pudding or custard or something like that, because I think we're going to have like cool abilities based on what kind of food we are. Anyway, I will be taking suggestions probably on the Patreon, so head over there. I'm rambling now. Taylor, tell everyone all of the amazing things that you do and where they can find you.
Oh my goodness. We probably wouldn't have time to talk about all the amazing things that I do. So I will talk very briefly. Please, if you like this game, go buy Not Yet on DriveThruRPG. This is, I think, my favorite thing that I've ever made. And when you buy it, you get the digital version only, because the physical copy, this beautiful thing, was a Kickstarter exclusive. However, you do get the other things, including the 3 bonus settings that we talked about. Also, there's an audiobook version of this game by Aaron Catano Sayers. You get with like your digital download, which is really, really cool. And also, you support a small indie creative team, because this game was made by exclusively POC, which is a theme with me, because the next thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to be at Dragon Meet on November 30th and also on December 1st. So you can catch me at Dragon Meet. I will be there on the Friday for the Podcast Zone / Tin networking event at 9 p.m. I will be in the POC lounge that I co-founded with Jasper William Cartwright all day. Follow me at Taylor Ananex on Blue Sky. You will see the events that we've got going on in the POC lounge. Studded lineup for panels. We've got networking against. We got a game jam. Like, there is so much happening in the POC lounge. So if you are POC and watching this and you're going to Dragon Meet, hey, stop by the second floor, ask where the Saturn's room is. We're in there. We're doing cool stuff. Please come and join us and find your community. Yeah. I will also be at the first Sunday for Dragon Meet or / Muppet Meet, because it's being run by Soul Muppet. And I'm doing a solo talk in front of a live audience that you can get free tickets to. It's about creating diverse teams and spaces. So if you're interested in meeting more POC, learning how you can support more POC in the UK TTRPG scene, I'm going to be talking for about an hour about that. So please do come by and just see what I have to say, because I have some interesting things to say sometimes, specifically about, love and diversity, I think, are my 2 things that I talk about. But yeah, other than that, that's awesome. I am on Twitter. I won't be deleting my account, but I will kind of just be keeping it there. I'm mainly on Blue Sky now, or you can find me at I think it's Taylor Navarro TTRPGs.card.co is my website, where you can see like all of the games that I've made, because this isn't the only thing that I've made, but this is the best thing that I've made. And if you're going to get anything of mine,
get it.
This would be great. And if you're like, this isn't for me, Christmas is coming up and you might have a friend who likes rom-coms, and if you do, maybe buy it for them, please.
I cannot tell you how much joy it brought me to be like, I could take from this film or this film. Oh, and like in the break, I was like, Taylor, what if it's Grant's wedding, but we're not sure if it's Suzy's wedding or not? What if we do that? I was giddy about it. It is so much fun.
It's so good. Oh, yeah, like.
It's great fun. Suzy and Aisha forever.
Suzy and Aisha forever. 100%.
I realised you mentioned Dragon Meet. Me and Shamini will both be at Dragon Meet as well. We're both performing on the Saturday, so in various shows. So you can find us. I am doing the Worldwide Wrestling TTRPG.
Yes, you are!
Which is like really early in the morning. So like come early and come watch me be a wrestler. I think I'm going to play like a kind of one and go mad. And then Shamini will be in D&D the Panto, which I've done the last couple of years, and it's super fun. And that's always good fun. But yeah, Dragon Meet is great, and yes, and definitely check out the POC Lounge if you're a POC, because that's a cool lineup. Like, I was looking at it the other day, and I was like, oh, hell yes.
There's so many. I'm so pleased with all of the events that we've got going on in there. So I will be in there for most of the day. Oh, but I am popping out briefly at 4 p.m. to speak on a panel about solo journaling games because one of the things that I do is I write games about parenthood. And a lot of my games about parenthood are solo games. And so I'll be talking about that with people from Modifius and other places at 4 p.m. in seminars.
Awesome. Right. Go buy the game. And we will see you maybe at Dragon Meet. Maybe we'll be back here on RPGeeks next week with Daggerheart, and the week after with Food Story, and I think the week after that is we're back to Blood on the Clock Tower. So all the things happening, and there's more to come. We're not even done for the year yet. We've got more. Keep your eyes on RPGeeks and please go buy this game. I cannot tell you how I'm going to go play it again. Taylor, we're going to do another one now. Okay, well, we'll end the stream and then we'll do another one. Yeah, okay. Right, thanks everyone so much for watching. Cheers, chat. You've been wonderful. Bye.
Bye.